Hello YouTube, it's Pac-Man building time, and today we're going to play a bit of Dead Connection. A bit violent there at the start. Stick a couple of credits in. We'll just choose Philip, why not? This is a great little game on MAME, I found. It's a sort of single screen game. Graphics, although they look quite simple, they're actually quite detailed. And you basically got to go around shooting all these gangsters, I suppose. Just trying to get to the big boss at the in the last level. So yeah, I think I've played. This is one of the only main games I've played all the way through to completion. It would be quite a few credits, I think, in real life to do that, but yeah, it's good fun. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the TV that we're going to use for the cab. We're going to dismantle it. And we're going to have a look at getting it mounted into the cab. Probably not get it mounted, but we'll build all the struts and mounts and stuff for it. So let's just see if we can play on a bit here. I don't know how long we've got until the boss. There's not many characters to go to kill. 4 left. Here they come. Let's see if we can just get through this. Probably get killed, but let's see. This is a great little game, I love it. Diving right out the way, shooting, pick up different guns, it's got destructible environments. Oops. This is a really good game. Yeah, I've got half my life left. I don't know how much life this guy's got left. Come on, die. Not quite dead yet. Ah. Come on, hammer the button. There we go. Done. Brilliant. Okay. Let's crack on. Okay, I've tidied up here a bit from last time. Put that there. So this is the TV we're going to be using. Hopefully. We shall see. It seems to be okay. We might have to go with the monitor in the end, but I don't want to because they're expensive. This cost between £2 or £3, I think. Maybe £5 max. It's a Philips monitor, sorry, TV, but it's going to be a monitor. Like I said, I've got some down here. There's a few down here I got as well. But this one, as soon as you apply power, it goes straight to the Scart connection, which is RGB, which is what the arcade board's going to be outputting. So this is, and also as well, it's 13-inch. These ones down here seem to be 14. And that seems to be the standard sort of size over here. Whereas this one's, I think, from here to here it's 14, but the actual viewing distance is actually 13. And the original was 13-inch, and it's 13-inch monitor. Not sure what. I think they're pretty expensive nowadays. Not sure. So, but like I say, this costs nothing basically. About the same as a pint of beer. So we're going to be using this one hopefully. So at the moment, we're currently this far with the arcade. So we've got the shell of it pretty much done. The marquee section's almost done. I just need to put a couple of sort of spaces in here because it's not out far enough. This is my dummy bezel. We've got the sort of holder for the bezel in place. Seems to be fine. So I don't really, like I said before, I don't put the control panel on all the front, because it makes it harder to actually add stuff into the machine. So I want to figure out where the TV/monitor is going to sit. Now I don't know how I'm going to mount it yet, so I think, like I said, this is going to be more of an investigation video as to what's inside here. The chassis I'm expecting is going to be, if you guys don't know, that's the monitor chassis right there. Oops. Zooming the wrong way on this thing. That's the monitor chassis there, and the glass bit on the front is the tube, so it comes in 2 parts. I'm going to say as well, this is very dangerous. Even though it's a tiny little monitor, it's still store thousands of volts in the actual tube itself. So you don't want to undo a TV unless you know what you're doing. Now, I didn't know what I was doing. I researched it quite thoroughly when I was messing around and replacing these monitors. And this is a big ass monitor, but it doesn't make. I don't think it makes a difference how big the monitor is. I think the voltages inside are going to be, well, they're going to kill you if you're not careful. Or give you a bad shock. So I've got to be very careful when I open this up. It's been off for, I don't know, a couple of weeks at the very least, but I don't trust it. So we're going to open it up, very careful, and I've got my discharging tool. Is it here? Is this it? Yes. Very crude, but it's basically crocodile clipped and soldered onto this screwdriver, and then that clips onto ground. So we'll do that later on. In fact, this probably could do with a bit of a repair before I do that. So I was going to sit down for this, so I'll bring this in here. Got my screwdrivers and things ready. So a bit dusty with all the MDF cutting in here. So we turn it around. Have a look. I don't know where the screws are. I'm thinking they're at the top somewhere. I'm just checking down below first. Is there any more? Don't think there are. No. So I think they're all in these bits here. And they're funny looking screws as well, actually. They look like sort of star screws. Now, luckily, I've got my security screwdriver set, so I'm hoping that one of these will do it. The reason I got this is for my Naomi system, because it uses these star Torx, they're called, sorry, bits. Now I'm thinking that this might be similar, so let's try this one here. Put that back in. So you can see it's like a little, you can see that little star. So see if this is going to be, that's too big. It'll be typical. I'll probably have all these security set bits and I'll have something that doesn't fit, but oh no, we've got a winner. So need an extension. Right, if you guys can see this, so I can bring it round. We'll move it this way. There we go. Right. Say again, I don't recommend taking TVs apart. You're more than welcome to do it yourself if you want to, but this is not an advert for undoing TVs, so don't blame me when your fingers get blown off. Right, I might get it. Might get this filmed on camera, I might get a finger stuck in the camera. Right, I think that's pretty good. I think what we need to do, actually, it'd be good if we could have this upside down. Take this off. Or can we just... Oh no, it's coming off okay, that's fine. Very. Oh. I can see the danger already, the suction cup. Make sure I just got to touch plastic and nothing else. Now you see the thing is, of course. Alright, that's okay. Scart cable and everything to come with. That was really easy. So I'll put this back down somewhere. So, if you want to know, danger. Could be dangerous, this, don't touch that. So what we're going to do, I think, before I start doing anything, is make sure my discharging screwdriver is okay, and then we can start having a look around inside. So, and I'll leave the plastic on the front for now. Yeah, let me do that. We'll discharge it on screen, on film, and we'll go from there. Okay, I've repaired this. It was fine. Just want to make sure it had a better connection. That doesn't look pretty at all. It's just got loads of globules of solder all over it. The wires around there, I've also got this on and soldered this on as well for added protection, so it wouldn't break very easily. So what we do, and this is slightly different to doing it with a arcade machine, is we have to clip this to the band here, and I absolutely hate doing this. Make sure you don't touch any metal. I've got loads of plastic. I've even wrapped sellotape around it for extra protection. So you can probably tell I'm a bit nervous. So let's go for it. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's any charge in there, but we'll do it again. Make sure there's definitely no charge. You shouldn't touch in it. Right, so I think that's okay now. Whew. That's nerve-wracking. I prefer it to snap. Do you make a little snap noise to it, to be honest? I know that it's discharging, but there we go. I don't think it's got any charge in it. So let's come down a bit. Have a quick look at this thing. So, like I said before, the chassis is sort of, I'll actually look myself, it's sort of yeah, looking at it, it's just held on with the plastic here. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look at it myself rather than having big long gaps of me not saying anything, although that's what people probably prefer. And then we'll come back and I'll hopefully have a better idea what we're going to do with this. Okay, I've taken the suction cup off now. I wanted to do it off camera because I was really worried about doing it, but it was quite easy. So another thing as well, so here's the suction cup. This isn't the dangerous part here. Well, it can be, I suppose. In fact, what we'll do, just to be safe, this goes in there. Make sure definitely nothing in there. No, there's not. And what you should really do is put this underneath. Make sure there's nothing in there. There's not. So there obviously wasn't any charge left, which is good. It's quite a modern TV, so there's probably some kind of self-discharge on this thing. So yeah, so again, I haven't really had a chance to look. I just thought I'd take that off and just show you guys. Let me have a look at the TV, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I was going to undo these bolts, but they sort of hold this in midair above the chassis, and I don't want to sort of crash it down. So I think what we'll do, while it's this way, is we'll undo all the cables. Because what I want to do is I want to get the tube separated from the chassis, so that I can then make some kind of little mini frame for it, probably out of wood, so that I can then mount it in the arcade. But with the chassis, and also the chassis as well, I need to somehow figure out a way of mounting that. So I want to separate them first, get some kind of mounting system for the tube, and then we'll think about the chassis afterwards. Maybe it's a sort of screw it to the side of the cab, I don't know. So yeah, so once I've got some kind of little I don't know, chassis for it, not chassis, frame for it, I can then figure out where it's going to go in the cab. So what I'm going to do is undo all these cables. I've done it before with my Naomi, so I know what I'm looking for. Is a ground wire. There'll be like a yoke wire or something. There'll be a couple. I've already started by unhooking the speaker wire, so I don't need that. And then once it's done, I'll put it upside down. I've got like a duvet sitting behind me here, so the weight will be taken off the screen, and then we'll take the chassis out, and we'll go from there. Right. That's that one out. I'm not sure what these grey cables are for. I'm sure someone will say if enough people watch this video, which they won't. It's relatively boring for me. Just do this. Right, okay. Those are out. So the chassis should now be free. Yes, it is. So there's our chassis. There's a little mini chassis in there I need to get out. The PCB does the power, so I quite like that out as well. And my star / Torx bit to get in there. So that's our power button. Not sure if I'm going to bypass that or not. I'll probably just leave it there, screwed in somewhere, just pressed on. So that's that. Quick look at that one. Right, so our monitor is now free. Monitor, tube, I mean. So I'm going to bring it chassis and take that away. This tiny little thing. I know it's a small monitor, but I'm used to doing huge chassis on these Naomi machines. Now, let's unscrew the front plastic, because that's what we don't want. This should now just lift off. Get my hands around it if I can. Yeah, nice little tube. Goes away. There we go. Plastic off. Empty television there. Use that as a rubbish bin actually. Right. Now, I was thinking about having some wood that goes between these, but they're not far enough out. So I think this is our next project actually. Figure out a way of making a frame for this. Probably out of wood, easier to work with. Keep these bolts. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. What we'll do, I'm looking at how it's done over there actually. I'm sort of cheating. Not cheating, but using what I've got. If you look here, there is you got the similar thing. You've got the bolt there, and you got this piece of metal here, which is the frame, I suppose. So that I think one of these two holes are used to mount. So they're the mounting frame. So we need. Obviously that's metal because it's so heavy. They're ridiculously heavy, those are. But I mean, oops, backwards again. This thing's so light. If we can get with it with a bit of MDF, I would have thought. Cut to size. Okay, I've had to think about it, and I'm going to make a little frame out of wood for the tube. It's quite light. It's only 13-inch tube, 14-inch technically, but it's only 13-inch screen. So I can pick it up with two fingers up carefully so I don't drop it. So it's quite light. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut these to the width, inside width of the cabinet. So if we put those along there, and I'll put up against where the old bolts were, like so. I was going to cut some triangles out, little triangles with a jigsaw, and what we're going to do, come down and zoom in. It's hard to show this because it's not on an even bit of ground really, it's on the duvet, but I can't remember which way this goes in now. Goes in like that. So if you can see that, probably not, but this is going to be sitting on there, and then there's going to be a hole down through there, through the joint, which is a bit worrying, but I'm going to put some screws in here as well, just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that no one nails a hole. This is not very heavy at all. And the same for the other side. So camera on the side, might be able to see what I'm doing better here. So that will go in like that. Then it'll be glued up against there. And again we have a hole there. And I went out and bought some chunky bolts. And they'll be going through there, probably with, in fact they'll be coming up through here, work this way, like that, and they'll just be screwed on, like that. So, what I've got to do is figure out exactly, because I've got to get this tube centered on these two pieces of wood, which is easy said than done, and then glue these bits there and drill the hole, because I can't drill the hole before because unfortunately the joint's going to be there. So I'm going to go away, do a bit of measuring, it might take a while, and then I'll come back, glue them together where I think it should go, and then we'll drill the hole, and then we'll mount it to this. So we'll be back once I've done some measuring. Okay, I've marked out the middle of each of these pieces of wood. Also little marks on the edges. What I'm going to do is use those marks. So I've basically lined it up with the holes, the sort of the mounting holes on the monitor, on the tube, and hopefully, if my measuring is right, the long end of each of these, let's get a little jigsaw, the long end of these little triangles should fit in if I put the tip of the long end on the mark, like that. So, we'll glue those now. Make it the same. So that's good. Did like the jumps on Excite Bike. That's quite cool. I'll try and superimpose a little bike going across. Okay, I got them both glued now. That one, this bit here fell off. I had to make a couple of adjustments, but they're pretty much done now. Got to leave them to dry. Once they're dry, we'll line them up hopefully with the tube there. Mark some holes, drill some holes in. Once we've got those mounted, start thinking about where it's going to go in the cab, which is going to be the awkward bit, I think. Trying to measure everything. I'm really looking forward to getting the monitor in the cab, because once that's in, I can get a lot of other stuff done. I'm pretty much stuck there until that's done, because if I come back over here, it's not that much left to do, I don't think. So obviously we've got the marquee. Just get a bit. got the slats and everything for the bezel. We can't put this on yet until we've done. I think this is going to be the last bit. This bit here. So I want to sort of do that at the same time as the control panel, because I want to make sure I know how far the control panel comes down. So yeah, once we've mounted the monitor, we can start doing the front. I might even do the back. I don't know. The back bit's not important at the moment. This tripod keeps going that way. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, got to get this monitor mounted. That's the most important thing. So we'll do that next, hopefully. Okay, so these are now dry. They're on there pretty solid. What I want to do, because these are going to be holding up the monitor, the tube of the TV. Now the glue should be fine between these two bits, but I just want to be doubly sure that you know, if the glue fails for whatever reason, I don't want the tube crashing down. So I'm going to put a couple of screws in this joint. Just I know you're supposed to put the screws in first for the glue to dry, but I just want to put some added protection. So we'll do that now. Right, so if I look at this one, which is already out, I probably want one there, another one there to double up, and I want to miss this hole because this is where the bolt's going. So maybe something along there would do it like that, across that way. So we'll drill in. We might just do two. I'm not sure yet. So maximum of about there, which is about there on that one. Let's just use the drill. Do the other one here. That's long enough, it should be. Yeah, it should be long enough. So we'll put those in first, see how we get on. Okay, my screwdriver. Right, so that's in there, both of those. So whatever we want to do, we'll be very careful because I don't want to go, I'll show you on here, I want to put a screw in here, on this one here. But we don't want to go through this circle here because this is where the bolt's going through. So, we'll just do that now. What I'll do, I'll just put this last screw in, do the rest off camera because I think the camera's going to die. And they'll come back and we'll put the holes in for the nuts and then we'll attach it to the tube. And then we're going to figure out where it's going to be placed onto the actual cab itself, which will be the difficult part, I think. Okay, yesterday I was trying to drill holes with this thing. Managed to snap a drill bit. That wasn't the drill's fault, that was sort of my fault really. But I've been struggling to cut drill holes into these pieces of wood, and like, you can see some of the bits of wood are splintering off because I'm trying to put way too much force in it. Because you know what, this drill, I've had it for 5-6 years. It's done me well. I'll keep it as a cordless. But I charged this up for 3 hours. It lasted less than 10 minutes. The battery's gone, I think, pretty much. And it's a NiCad an ICD battery, and they're the worst really. They don't cost very. This cost about 15 quid ages ago. It didn't really cost me anything. So it's paid its price basically. How much I pay for it. It will still run, but only for small tasks. It's not, you know, it's not good enough for even just going through wood. So I don't know what I'm going to use it for. So I thought, I've been trying to put it off for ages and ages, replacing that thing, because I don't want to spend too much money. And I found this at B&Q for a pretty reasonable price. This is corded, which I'm sick and tired of cordless ones, obviously because of the batteries. It's a hammer drill as well, so I won't be using it for making arcade machines and things, be using it for drilling holes in walls, which is what I used to do with that one, for very small holes. But it was a pain in the ass. So this is going to be my all-round drill now. I used to use the father-in-law's occasionally when I had to do bigger holes, but I can use my own now. So, you know, let's maybe do a quick unboxing. Well, I've got it here. So this is a McAllister MHD 750 A-2. It's pretty reasonable price in B&Q. There's quite a few good value drills out at the moment, but I've used McAllister products before and they're pretty good. This one seems to be a bit dusty. It's obviously been sat on the shelf for a while, so that's good and a bad thing. It means no one else has used it and brought it back. In fact, this is the last one, so perhaps it was just because it was the last one that's dusty. Take this out. Now what's good about it, it's got this little carry case with it as well, because although again it's quite cheap. My sander down there, I just keep it in this box at the moment. I've got no carry case for it. With this I can just slip it back into its carry case and I can hang it up somewhere or whatever, so that's good. I think I don't need to cut. Yeah, I need to cut that open. Yeah. So it's no frills really. I think it's a hopefully good quality drill, but you don't really get much with it. And because I'd already broken a drill bit, I bought some of these wood drill bits because I needed a bigger one, which is what I'll talk about in a sec. My drill bits weren't big enough for the bolts that I'll be using, so that one there should be alright for it. So yeah, it's a good piece of kit. Pretty sturdy. It's got variable speed. That's another thing as well. This one down here in the corner was on or off. It wasn't. There's no sort of analog speed control with it. So, you know, you wanted to do delicate, which is why it was ripping apart those bits of wood, because I wanted to do quite slowly, but I had to push as hard as I could, and it was just doing, you know, going as fast as it could. In fact, when the battery was running down, it was a bit better. So this has got variable speed on it, and it's also got a little dial there as well. So, and as it's a hammer drill, I've got this for sort of bracing it. It should come with a, oh yeah, it's there, a depth gauge. I won't bother taking it out, but it's there. I won't be needing that at the moment. I won't be needing this either. It goes back in like that. So let me just take all the plastic and everything off of it and get it plugged in, and what we'll do, we'll go back to our little frame that we're starting to build from our tube, and we'll hopefully get the holes drilled correctly this time. So I'll probably, you can, this is a hammer drill, you can stick to the hammer side like that, hammer time, as Lewis Hamilton might say, or his engineer. Formula 1 fan, by the way. Or you could just use it as a normal drill, which is what I'll be doing. And the good thing, like I said before, you can Look, you can just as slow as you like. Speed up a bit. That's perfect. It was such a pain in the ass with the old one. So, also, I was going to say, I know there's a lot of people when they go to build an arcade machine and what tools do I need. In this series, I've started off with a crappy old jigsaw over there and a crappy drill. That's what I started with. As I've gone along, as I've needed tools, I've bought them. That's the best way to do it, because you don't want to buy a load of tools and only use one of them. Buy as you go. Buy something. You have to buy hugely expensive stuff. Just make sure that you can. I know I'm going to use this here for other things around the house. I know I'll use that sander probably next week at some point, wherever it is. There it is down there, for some painting work in the house. I probably use the circular saw for cutting some floorboards or wood boards for the loft at some point. So, buy stuff as well that you can use in everyday life, not just for arcade machines. That way you can say to the wife, well, I can use it for something else. That's what I do anyway. So what we'll do is we'll have a go at this. I might have to take these triangles off and start again, because I've cocked up a few of them. I might be able to get away with it, we'll see. But I'm not going to blame everything on that drill. I'm going to blame it on the fact that I was rushing as well. But we'll give this a go. I've got some, like I say, some of these bigger drill bits. I actually need one of. If this actually opens. For some reason I decided to put some kind of little plastic thing in there to stop you getting in. No idea why. Okay, so I'm thinking we can probably use this one. Actually comes out. There we go. Is that going to be too big? Measure it with our bolts. I think that's about right. I think what I've done is I've misjudged how close this hole needs to be to the edge. So like I say, I might need to I may need to do this again. What I might do is just use the slightly smaller one. This is the problem when you're doing something on the fly. You sort of see these, you discover these problems after you start building them. Just see with the, I might get away with that size. Probably not, but let's see. So this is a chuckless drill, as my other one was. Okay. Right, I think that's in. Let's get the clamp down. Right. See how we go. So I thought it's too close to the edge, to be honest. I'll have to redo these. Let's just see if this would fit. If you can see that, yeah, you can. You can see it's gone off from the edge. It's too close. That still doesn't fit now. Okay, we've got our little batten sort of corners. Some look a bit worse for wear, but they're really solid. They've got screws in. I put little sort of dowel matchsticks almost with glue going in at every angle, so it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna come off anytime soon. I'll fill these little gaps here with a bit of glue just to shore it up for it. She goes on the cab. But what we'll do is we'll show how this is going to attach to our tube. So I think this is the way around. So that goes on like that. Bring this around this way, as you see. And we'll get a nut and this will go underneath here. To do them super tight, but just want to make sure they don't fall off. Okay, there we go. There's our little frame for our TV. Doesn't look too bad. Looks ugly with the screws and things, but if we hold this up, and be very, very careful to do this. It's not tested this yet. Hopefully it holds okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm going to fill some of the gaps and things on the corners, but yeah, that's pretty good. Normally the sides, we have down the sides, and then for the chassis mounts, and if you look at the arcade monitors behind me, they come down the sides here, but as I'm mounting this vertically, it's only going to be vertically. The chassis I think I'm mounting to the side of the cab, so this should be enough. So what I'll do is, as this is mounted, these bits of wood here will be bolted on to another piece of wood inside the cab. So this bit's flat down, like so. Right, so next thing is it's bad glue to get a piece of wood here. I needed a piece of wood and I didn't really have the right size. It's basically just creating a scrap piece of wood, but this is going to be what's holding the chassis. So it's not nice looking at all. But what we'll do next is we'll get the chassis mounted onto this piece of wood, and we're going to figure out where it's going to go in the cab. So let's do that now. Okay, so I'm going to use this little bit of wood to mount my chassis on. It was a scrap piece of wood I cut in half and then glued in a different, it was sort of lengthways long, and I didn't really have much wood around, so I thought, you know, I'll just make I'll make use of what I got rather than buying a whole new piece of MDF. So, because it's quite a sort of square shape, which is why I needed to use it like this. So it's going to sit on here. We're going to drill some holes, some screws, and what we'll probably do as well, we'll need to get some spacers, because I don't want to sort of screw this on and crush the solder parts, the solder side underneath. So looking at this, there's a place there where we can screw to, but I don't think there's much else. Which is unfortunate, really. there is a sort of slot up here. So I'm not really sure. I think we can start by getting some spacers. Now I don't have any computer spacers on me that you'd have on a motherboard, but what you can do is you can get like a pen or something like a Bic pen and cut it up so that just use that as little plastic spacers. So I think we'll do that first. We'll get that ready, and then we'll get this put on to this board. Okay, I have the pen that's going to be sacrificed. So what we'll do is move this out of the way. And you can do this if you have a motherboard that needs mounting somewhere and you don't have any spacers. You can always use this method. So what we'll do, I'll try and get this. Okay, I found the hacksaw. So I'll probably nip this off actually. Okay, come off now. Right, so we don't want this. We don't really want this bit at the end either. There you go. So you got a nice long bit of plastic. And we use these screws. If they should be big enough. I think they shall be big enough. To the other ones I've got a bit too long, so I want them a bit shorter. So these should be what I need. So what we'll do is we will come inside. And take the first bit off. Disappeared. There you go. So there's a bit of an angle on one side. I'll sand that down. So we use this as a spacer. So do 4 more of these. I think that's probably what we'll need, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've cut 4 of those. Sand them all to about the right size. Hopefully you can see that. If I put the light from my phone, you can see those 4 there. So what we'll do, we'll use those as, like I say, as spacers between the solder side of the chassis and the wood. We need some more spaces for that. I forgot about this little board here. And we've got one space here to put a screw through. Maybe there, I think. Yeah, there's one there. You can see that. There's probably one way there we can use. Because obviously this was slided in. This is slid in. Slid in into place. The screw's not going to fit through that hole there, so we've got mounting points on the back. There is a hole here. I don't really want to have to expand any holes, really, if necessary. We might have to. We've got nothing this side at all. So when you have a look at it, I might have to just. I've got, from what I can see, is 1, 2, maybe a third up here. And maybe the slot here. Depends what's on the other side. Hopefully there's nothing around in and around it. It doesn't matter. Just drilling it out a bit. So let me have a look and come back. Okay. I drilled out this hole here, ever so slightly bigger drill bit than the hole that was there before. The screw now fits through. Also, I took the power. This is where the power comes in, so to be especially careful with this. However, the power comes into the yellow here, and then go out through the red. So I was drilling a hole there, so that's ever so slightly bigger, which allows the screw to go through. It was originally mounted with these points here. I've taken a little black piece of plastic off of here because I don't want it sticking out miles. So this is power for this. I'll probably just leave it in. So I did this hole here as well. So what we'll do is we'll mount it this way. Most of the I don't think I can make the slot at the front here any bigger because there seems to be some kind of grounding going on underneath there, so I don't want to mess with that. Most of the heavy components are at this end. This is just going to be in the air. I think that'll be okay. If not, I have to get some really tiny screws to go in there. So let's have a go at. I need to do one more spacer, but we'll do that in a sec. For the power section, so let's get on with well, firstly we need to figure out where it's going to sit. I reckon about there. It's about centred, to be honest. There gives us space for this to drop into there. So that'll be about there. Because we also need to think about this is going to be therefore this is going to be mounted to the side of the cab, so we need to drill holes in the corner here and here, so we make sure we've got a space either side. So let's get the drill set up and get cracking. Okay, so we've got a point mark there, and there. In fact, I can't see that one very well, although I've lost my pencil at the moment. Oh, there it is. So just there. And what I've done as well is I've got depth gauge set on here so that it's only halfway down the wood. That should be enough, I think, for this. So let's crack on. Let's bring our chassis. We'll do the little one first. It's probably easier. You can see, okay, let's come down this way a bit. So this comes down underneath like that. Going nicely. Okay. This one as well. There we go. It's not that pretty solid. It's not entirely straight, but again, it's just, this is not really going to be seen. So we need 3 more of these screws. Hopefully I've got enough. Okay, let's get this in position. just. So let's do this first one. That's it. There we go. It'll probably sit something like that on the side of the cab. We shall see. Next thing is to figure out, and this is the hardest bit, where the monitor is going to sit in the cab, because I can't really put that onto the side of the cab until I know where the monitor is going to go. So okay, we'll leave it there. So I thought I'd play a bit of a classic really to finish it off today, which is Burger Time. If you didn't know, this is a great little game. I remember playing it when I first tried this on my own. I didn't really like it, but it's quite a subtle game really. The tactics involved, because you can't actually kill your enemies. Well, you can drop things on them, but you can stun them. And what you do, you got to wait for them to go over the food and then drop buns and things on them. Well, not very good though. So yeah, we'll leave it there with the monitor. So I think the next thing to do is to get it fitted into the actual cab itself. So we'll get the chassis probably fitted to the side of the cab, and we're going to have to figure out where the struts go that the tube's going to sit. I think that's going to be quite hard actually. We're going to do some measuring some angles and things and all sorts. I'm going to have to modify my SketchUp model to figure out where that's going to go. It's, I don't know if I'll be able to complete this. Let's see if I can do it. Come on. Come on! Oh, no. I've lost 3 of the peppers already. Oh, there's an ice cream there. Do I want that? Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. Come on. I'm not doing this the correct way. Almost there now. Come on. Up you come. Get that ice cream. There we go. Oh, no, it's gone out. That's good. Come on. Ah, crap. There we go. Done. I think that's the first time I've done that without dying. That's brilliant. Okay, yeah. Anyway, until next time, see you soon.